Well, hello everybody. My name is Rich Capitan. I'm the Education Director here at the Alaska Zoo, coming to you live from the tiger habitat. And Natasha is going to be coming out, I think, right now. I think I just heard her open the gate, so I'm going to stop yapping and turn my camera around. All right, I'm going to continue to yap, but we're going to look for Natasha, the Amur tiger. So welcome to our live session, our 1 o'clock Alaska time live session. We are here for our 2025 spring giving event. And if you tuned in earlier this morning, we were, oh, there she is. We were at the polar bear exhibit. But this is Natasha, our Amur tiger. I don't want to move because she's right there. So a lot of people get confused on Amur tiger versus Siberian. It's the same animal. They've just kind of updated the name more recently. As this animal has become fewer and fewer in the wild, that habitat area has obviously, their home range has been reduced. And so Siberia was obviously kind of a super large area, not super accurate. So they've changed it to Amur, A-M-U-R, Amur tiger, and that is a specific region in the Russian Far East. I just want to point out that camouflage. Even though she's orange, she really blends in, which is pretty astounding. I mean, look at that. She doesn't really move. It's pretty hard to see. It looks like she's licking her popsicle. The zookeepers gave her a popsicle just before we went live, and I asked what was in that popsicle, and it's a it's a meat sickle. That's right. Who doesn't love a delicious beef and cream popsicle in the summer? Yeah, well, that's what she's eating. She's a carnivore, right? So I'm going to try to move a little bit and see if we can get her on camera. And of course, we've got visitors enjoying our beautiful tiger. Let me see if I can move our camera down the way here. Oh, there she is. Again, she's kind of hard to see, even right there. Well, that's the look we're going to get for right now. But so again, this is our 2025 spring giving event. Any gifts that you decide to give the Alaska Zoo will go directly to general operations, which obviously goes to a lot of different things, helping provide quality care for the animals. It can actually go to some of our educational programming regarding tigers. So you may be asking yourself, why do you have a Russian tiger, a Amur tiger in Anchorage, Alaska? That's not a native species. Well, again, the Alaska Zoo is a small zoo here in Anchorage, nonprofit, and we focus on Arctic and subarctic animals and like climate. So this would be a like climate animal. Their home area, their habitat in the Russian Far East is very, very similar to Alaska's. Very similar temperatures, snowfall, rainfall, foliage, that kind of thing. So she's really adapted to be in a cold climate like Anchorage. There are, I believe, 6 subspecies of tigers that are in the world today, with, I believe, 3 extinct. Of course, the Amur tiger, which we're looking at, the Bengal tiger, South China, Malayan, Indo-Chinese, and Sumatran. Those are currently the tiger subspecies that are on the planet. And unfortunately, we have lost some tigers. The Caspian, the Bali, and the Javan are considered extinct. So this is an animal that we're looking at. Whoa, sorry about the camera. This is an animal that is critically endangered in the wild. There's a better look at her. They estimate about 400 of these animals right here in the wild, which is not very many. So zoos play a really important role in conserving this species. Natasha here is part of the SSP, Species Survival Plan, and she is part of that breeding program, and I'll tell you a little more about her and her story and how she's involved with that program. So Natasha just came to our zoo, gosh, I think it was just this last, it was like October, so fall of 2024. So she's pretty new to the zoo, but she was born and raised at the Sedgwick County Zoo in Wichita. And she was very, very well loved. In fact, a lot of people were extremely sad but happy for her when she came to Alaska. So she was part of the breeding program for the species. And she basically, it turns out she was not able to reproduce due to some physical, just because of some issues she had personally, I guess. And so they decided that she will not be a part of that SSP, or that active breeding program. The Alaska Zoo had just lost our oldest tiger. We had two brothers named Carol and Kunali, and they lived to be about 19, which is pretty old for a cat. But they had finally passed away, and we were looking for for tigers. And the Sedgwick County Zoo said, "Hey, I think, we think that Natasha would do really well up there. She's got a huge habitat that she can roam. It's a nice cold climate. It's a very natural setting." So they happily sent her up here, and they sent all kinds of video cards wishing her well and stuff. It was super cute. There's that meat popsicle. You can see the meat on top and the cream below. Delicious. So a little more about Natasha. She, in July, will be turning 12. So she's kind of, I guess, middle-aged. These cats, even though they're huge, really are like house cats. They're so similar. Or maybe I should say, maybe your house cat is super similar to a tiger. So she's 12, and yeah, she'll live to be, late teens, maybe 20. That's a really old cat. I personally had a house cat. Her name was Missy, and she lived to be 23. So that was even older. But anyway, Natasha's about 300 pounds, which is pretty average for an Amur tiger. And the Amur tigers are the lightest color of tigers. She's pretty pale, and that's an adaptation of this animal since they live kind of, in the snow during the winter. They're considered a snow cat. So some of the other subspecies of tigers are more orange or more brown or brighter. But no, not her, but super beautiful colors there, and that striping. Each tiger has its own stripe pattern, so it's essentially like a fingerprint. She's dragging the popsicle into the bushes. I mean, look at that camouflage, though. If she stopped moving, you wouldn't even see her. It's pretty astounding. So again, yeah, she's just like a big house cat. It's funny the differences in cats too, tigers I should say. The brothers that we had, Carol and Kunali, they were very social. They were super bonded to each other. Natasha, as you can see, is by herself. And that was another factor in Sedgwick County Zoo's decision for her to come up here. She doesn't like other cats. She doesn't like other tigers. Just like at home, maybe you have a cat who's really cat friendly to other cats. Maybe you have a cat who hates other cats. It's the same with tigers. I mean, she's just a really big cat, and she prefers to be by herself. The brothers were pretty chill. Like, they didn't seem to mind if I walked by. Natasha, oh, she's stocky. She's really, really stocky, which is super exciting, and I won't lie, a little scary. Even just walking by, she'll growl and she'll give you that predator stare. I know I'm safe, but it's still kind of spooky. I'm going to try to move a little bit, see if we can get her in better view here. Sorry about the shaky cam. Let's see. Well, she's kind of in a hard spot to see. As I said earlier in the day, if you look at our leaves, our foliage, our leaf buds are starting to come out, which is super great because that means summer is right around the corner. Where is she? I can't find her. Let's play Find the Tiger. So again, she is part of what they call an SSP, Species Survival Plan. Again, zoos all around the world are trying to help this species by keeping that gene pool alive and healthy. And it's a pretty critical operation that zoos do. And again, now Natasha is basically not able to reproduce, so she's kind of out of that program. So anyway, yeah, she's super great. Just wish I could see her a little better. Well, you can kind of, there you go, a little bit. Whoops. You can kind of see the big kitty behavior there. So tigers, just like cats, are very scent oriented. Some of the enrichment that we put into her habitat today aside from that delicious meat popsicle, is the zookeeper sprayed cologne. Cats love stinky things, and so I asked the zookeeper Jen what was she spraying, and she said some fancy French name of men's cologne. So often when you walk by the tiger habitat after an enrichment session, it smells like prom. It's just really stinky, obnoxious perfume or cologne, but tigers love it. And again, just like your cat at home, when your cat rubs up on you, or rubs your head, or headbutts you, or rubs on your leg, that cat is scent marking you. So cats are really scent heavy critters. But if you want to help the Alaska Zoo, since it is our spring giving event, you can give a gift, and maybe that gift will go buy some delicious, high quality smelling perfume. You know, maybe a High Karate or a Fabergé, or ooh, how about Drakkar? For those of you tuning in from the 90s, yeah, good stuff. Well, she's pretty hunkered down there, isn't she? She's not doing a whole lot. Well, she's loving on that popsicle, I guess. Again, so she's a carnivore. She eats a lot of meats. Here at the zoo, we give a zoo meat called AAA, which is a zoo industry meat made up of not only muscle, but ground up bones and tissue and connective tissue and all the stuff that maybe is in a hot dog. I don't know. I hope not. But all the ground up stuff that typically we wouldn't eat, that a predator would eat. Again, organs and whatnot, which is super nutritious. So she gets a pretty darn good natural-ish diet. The Alaska Zoo is really lucky as well. We have a wonderful community who donates not only fish and stuff when they're cleaning out their freezers, but hunters will drop off carcasses after they've maybe went out and caught a moose or a caribou, and we'll give those carcasses to our animals. So really natural diets. I can't even see her. There she is, moving, right? Yeah. Again, that camouflage is just astounding. You'd think a bright orange animal would stand out. Well, not always. I've also read that for hunting, their prey can't see the color orange. So if she was in a wooded environment, she would appear at like background color. So she would obviously blend right into the background. So things like deer, ungulates, and things like that can't see that color. So you can see her moving a little bit. So she's also pretty vocal. Just before we went live, she was roaring, which again, I'm pretty far away, and just hearing the volume, you can feel it almost. It's really impressive. So, well, she's hunkered down. I don't think we're going to see much of her as she's enjoying that snack. Again, she's a new resident to the zoo as of October of last year. We're so happy to have her, and if there's any folks from Sedgwick County Zoo watching in Wichita, hello out there. Natasha's doing wonderful. In fact, when Natasha came up here, one of the zookeepers who has known Natasha since she was literally a kitten, flew up with her and stayed with her for like a week just to make sure Natasha was settling in well, and she clearly has done really, really well here in Alaska. And you have to admit, Alaska's a pretty different environment than Wichita, Kansas, that's for sure. There she is, kind of dragging that around. And again, it is our 2025 spring giving event. If you are looking to give a gift to the Alaska Zoo, there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can go to our website, alaskazoo.org, and look for the info there. Or you can go in the comments below, and there's information on how to give a gift to the Alaska Zoo there as well. I'll try to zoom in more. It's pretty grainy if I zoom in super close. You can hear the ravens. Of course, we've got lots and lots of ravens at the Alaska Zoo who aren't residents. They're just the neighbors, but they are a really smart bird, and they certainly know where the free food is. There's a kind of a good look at her. So again, she's about 300 pounds-ish, and that's a pretty average size. Males can be a little bigger, but that's a pretty big house cat. And when you walk past her, or when she walks past you, it's definitely pretty intimidating. She's a big cat. So again, very, very critically endangered species in the wild. Again, they estimate about 400, and I think that's on the good side. And of course, that endangered status is from a lot of different things: habitat loss, poaching, things like that. So, I think there's some traditional medicine stuff that uses tiger parts and whatnot. So, and that would probably fall under that poaching. So they definitely have their issues in the wild, that's for sure. So definitely zoos play a super important role for these tigers. So, well, there she is, just kind of chewing on the popsicle, the meat sickle. I think I might break it up a little bit. I'm actually in a good spot to take a quick walk to a couple of other critters at the zoo. I think I'm going to do that. Hopefully I don't make you sick. The quake cam, as I call it. Let's do this. We're going to take a little walk. Let me make some adjustments here. All right, come with me. We're going to walk part of the trails here at the Alaska Zoo. And again, I'll try to go slow and steady so we don't get you sick. Maybe if you are motion sickness prone, you can close your eyes and it'll be, just think of this as a podcast. So, I do see one of our babies. And if my signal drops, I apologize. Stay with me and hopefully we'll get back into range. I see a little black and white baby right there. I don't know if you can see it. That is our brand new Tibetan yak calf. And she was born, gosh, not long ago. It was all over our social media. I want to say maybe, there's the little face. There's the little face right there. Oh, hello, sweetie. You look like a tiny cow. In a good way. I hope that wasn't offensive. I think she was born in end of March? April. I guess early April. Honestly, the spring has gone by so fast, I've kind of lost track of my time. But we're going to go to two of my favorite critters at the zoo. Don't tell the tiger, because I don't want to upset her either. But one thing about the Alaska Zoo that is amazing is our trail system. There are a lot of people who come to the zoo, not only for the cool animals, but our beautiful trails. It looks a little brown right now, but it's spring in Alaska. So give it about 2 weeks and all of this will be nice and bright with green leaves. But all of our trails are really forested. There's a lot of birds, native birds that are here and called the zoo home. But we're coming up on two of my friends. Hey, boys! Oh, there they are. There's the boys. Sorry, I have to talk in a dippy voice to them. These are two coyotes. And now hello, sweetie. This is Levi. Oh, no, there's Hans. Hans and Levi. All right, let's see if they want to participate. We'll talk more about them in just a second. Hey, boys, do you want to do me a favor? Do you want to sing? Here, boys, can you sing? All right, that was it. All right, good job, boys, good job. So the little one on the right is Levi, and the fluffier one right here is Hans. Both of these guys came from out of state. They were both orphans. And again, the Alaska Zoo has a really active program of taking care of orphaned and injured wildlife. So these two guys needed a home, and we were looking for some canids, and we gave them a home. Now, these are a controversial animal. Not everybody likes a coyote or coyote. Whoops. What you smelling, buddy? But they're a fascinating animal. They're really adaptive. They're just a really cool little canine. And obviously very social, very vocal. It's pretty unusual to find coyotes in need. But just last spring, we actually had a situation where some coyote pups needed help, and we sprung into action and provided intensive medical care for these literally brand new pups. And with a lot of effort and work and dedication by our staff, they got them up and going and got them nice and healthy. And then those two coyotes went to live at another zoo. But again, a gift, any gift that you might give the Alaska Zoo is going to help situations like that. It's going to provide, assistance and just giving us an opportunity to continue to give the best care possible for these critters. But oh boys, they're so cute. When you walk up, they get all dippy and their tails wag and stuff. Oops, sorry about the camera. So again, I do want to say thank you for tuning in to the Alaska Zoo's 2025 Spring Giving live stream today. And again, if you are looking to give a gift to the Alaska Zoo, you can go to our website, alaskazoo.org, or go in the comments here and learn how to do just that. So I want to say thank you. Happy Friday to all of you that tuned in. It's a beautiful day here, spring day in Anchorage. And I want to say thank you so much. Coming to you from the coyote habitat at the Alaska Zoo in Anchorage, Alaska. All right, everyone. Thanks so much.